Hey everyone, I have an update on Brockhaus Technologies, which I'm following very closely as I have a big investment in this company. So the update is that Bikeleasing has made an acquisition in a company called Pronio. So Brockhaus Technologies own 52% of Bikeleasing, and Bikeleasing made the acquisition in this company, Pronio. You can see what it looks like here on the screen, the website. So what Pronio is a software service that allows corporate customers to arrange employee tax-free benefits. So you got like health benefits and transport and internet and gym memberships, even something that I never heard of, but you can get like digital food stamps apparently. So this is the first step for Bikeleasing, which at the moment just leases bikes, to expand into employee benefits that are other than things than just bikes. So Pronio is a small business, a small software business, and they have all these other elements already built into their software. And I think this is a really nice match. So Bikeleasing has around 62,000 corporate customers that service around 3.4 million employees. Not all of those 3.4 million employees, by the way, are Bikeleasing customers. That's just the 3.4 million employees making up from those 62,000 corporate customers. So soon, the 3.4 million employees, that's their reach at the moment, which is always growing, but they'll be able to access more than just bikes to lease. They'll be able to access some of this other stuff too. So I think this is an important step into like a full range service instead of it just being bikes for bike leasing. And this was always part of the plan, like always on the radar as a clear path to growth. But it is a bit of a land grab right now for Bikeleasing, between Bikeleasing and the major competitor in the space, Jobrad. Now, Jobrad is actually the number one player in the bike leasing market in Germany, and Bikeleasing being number two. Jobrad's website claimed to have over 70,000 corporate customers compared to the 62,000 of Bikeleasing. So even though Jobrad was the first mover in the market, Bikeleasing has almost caught them. And what I think the competitive advantage for Bikeleasing is that they don't take margin away from the bicycle dealer and therefore are going to be more promoted by them. And growth rates are also higher than Jobrad. So Jobrad, like I said, is that pioneer in Germany. And now Bikeleasing, that expansion into Austria, Jobrad is there as well, but it was such a successful program into Austria that they themselves are the first mover and the leader over in Austria. So signing up corporate customers is the name of the game here. Like I said, it's a land grab between Jobrad and Bikeleasing. They're going to try to do this across Germany and Austria as quickly as possible. And that's the focus. That's where the money is going into. It's going into expansion. The reason why it is a bit of a land grab is because once you are a corporate customer, you've got a choice to make between Jobrad or Bikeleasing, whoever sells that to you better. Once you get onto that platform, it's going to be sticky. It's software. Your employees are going to be using it for multiple years. It's going to take a bit of pulling out and replacing with something else. Not impossible to do, but that's why it's described as a bit of a land grab, because this is like a new service. This is like a new feature of the employment market in Germany. It has been around for a while, but it's only just getting popular in the last sort of 4, 5, 6 years. Because it is this sort of quick land grab, once all the corporations have sort of chosen either to go Jobrad or Bikeleasing, similar situation is going to happen in Austria. This acquisition of Pronio is going to be really cool because not only can then Bikeleasing, they've got the customers with their bikes, they can then go deeper with the customer with other services that Pronio provides. So I think this is a great acquisition. I think it's a really smart move for the future. I still think the focus really needs to be on the land grab though, because if Jobrad are pushing hard, they've got 70,000 and Bikeleasing, they've got 62,000. The market is big. We can get to sort of like the millions numbers here. So this is still kind of in the early stages, but I think it's going to be a bit of an oligopoly or a duopoly. Sorry, duopoly is what I meant to say because there's two of them and there's really no one else in the space. So I think it's going to be a duopoly. How big the market share percentages is going to depend on the next couple of years. And I think Bikeleasing is going to be superior here. I think they've been growing faster than Jobrad. They have been growing faster than Jobrad, so I think they're going to catch and then overtake. But Jobrad will still have a place in the market for sure. Now, because of this expansion, I do think the margins are going to improve further for Bikeleasing once they transition away from the land grab and into upselling services like they have with Pronio. That's when the margins are really going to expand. How many years away is that? 3 to 5, probably. That's sort of what I think the timeline looks like. It might be a little bit longer than that before they really hone in on margins, but I think they can. 3 to 5 years, it'll be a far more mature market anyway. So I do think there's a lot of growth here to come for bike leasing. Jobra had too, but bike leasing is part of Brockhaus Technologies, and I think that's the bet that I've been making. Now, I don't know the specific details on the deal structure with Pronio yet. I'm assuming we're going to see that information in the next earnings report. So once I find that information out, I will be sharing that. Now, what I thought I would do is, because I'm getting a lot of questions around Brockhaus Technologies, I thought I'd do like a bit of a Q&A. So I've gathered all the questions that I've been getting from the Discord group and Twitter, my YouTube channel, and I've collated them all here, and I'm going to answer a few of them now and most of them in the next video. So I hope this addresses some of your concerns around this one. Like, I'm putting myself out there with Brockhaus Technologies. There's not much content out there around this, so I'm happy to sort of take the lead on this one. I know that comes with a lot of bias as well, that I'm putting myself out there on this. I'm biased towards what happens with this, and I'm going to defend the company more than I'm going to be critical. I'm trying to be critical about the company to make sure I see the truth. That's all I can really try to do here. So let's do some questions. The first question is, do you think there is more risk with only 2 subsidiaries? Yes, correct. This is a bet on bike leasing mainly, with their nice business in IHSE as well. The diversification of a serial acquirer reduces risk, and this isn't there yet. The intention is to do more acquisitions. That's what Marco Brockhaus is wanting to do. But right now it is higher risk because they've only got 2 subsidiaries. Now, I believe that risk exists, and as investors, we get paid to take calculated risks. Every investment we make is a risk of some kind. And the question is, can we take a calculated risk? That's your role here, is to figure out whether the risk reward is right for you. Next question. They haven't made any acquisitions lately. Is that of concern? So regarding acquisitions, yes, it's tough to deploy capital recently. I think them doing buybacks and tuck-in acquisitions are a fair use of capital right now. I think that's actually smart use of capital. They repeatedly say that they are staying disciplined. Marco has been doing this for decades privately, so it's not like he is just fresh into this. I think they are on to such a winner with bike leasing that investing in tuck-ins and acquisitions like Pronio is really smart. A bit like investing, if you're onto a winner, I think you should invest more into it rather than the risk of making an acquisition into another sphere that performs worse than the things that they're already focusing on. And if the opportunity wasn't as epic as I think it is for bike leasing, then yeah, I would prefer more acquisitions, but that's not the specific situation. Now, I bought my shares in Brockhaus Technologies with Interactive Brokers. There's a link in the description below for that. I don't know how many brokers would get you access to Brockhaus Technologies, so Interactive Brokers is perfect for this. I also keep track of the valuation of Brockhaus Technologies in my email list. Yes stocks, no stocks. Again, link in the description for that too. Next one is, how did you account for the non-controlling interest? It looks like the business didn't make a profit and paid out a large amount to non-controlling interests. Okay, so my understanding of this is that Brockhaus Technologies at a group level made the acquisitions. Therefore, they are amortizing the PP&A for tax reasons. So it isn't on the subsidiary level of bike leasing. So I still feel pretty good about using free cash flow here. There are a lot of things happening in the adjustments on the profit and loss. Free cash flow clears it up quite nicely, I think. So free cash flow per share specifically. But it's good to get my head around all the adjustments and the P&L as well. It is quite complicated, FYI. So in terms of me figuring out free cash flow, I get $18 million worth of free cash flow for 2023. Now, that comes from the free cash flow before tax of $44 million. Then you minus out the tax of the $10 million. Then you minus out the non-controlling interest distribution of $15.8 million, and that gets you to the $18 million. Now, if you want a little bit more of a breakdown of why and how I'm doing valuation work on this, so the $18 million, you'd be like, okay, market cap of what, 230, 240 million, 18 million free cash flow. What's that, like, I don't know, 14 times or something? I can't do that in my head very well. 14, 15 times free cash flow. You're like, okay, that's fine. It's not super cheap or anything like that. I think I go through this in far better detail in my valuation video that I've put out before. In the next video, I might go through it again just to so you understand how I'm thinking about margin expansion and how I'm thinking about growth rates and how I'm thinking about how the business is going to function in the future. So yeah, I'll save that for the next video. Let's jump into more Q&A in the next one as well. So I will see you in that video.